Has anyone ever told you that you're too nice? If they have, you probably already know that that is more of a constructive criticism than it is a compliment. Being too nice is not a good thing. And actually, even trying to be nice at all can be dangerous. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. And I'm going to share 5 signs that you are being too nice in your own life. And if you relate to those signs, if you're being too nice in your own life, I'm going to leave you with one simple shift that you can make to turn things around. Let's get to it. Welcome to the Common Ego community. My name is Christina, and on this channel, we talk about emotional abuse, spirituality, and self-development. Now, today we're talking about being nice, which seems like something that's a little bit off topic, but it's really not. And we're going to get to all of that. But first, I want to cover the elephant in the room. So now I mentioned that there are dangers to being nice and dangers to being too nice. And I think most of us are familiar with the biggest danger of being too nice, and that is that someone might take advantage of your niceness. But this is a much bigger topic than that, because there are reasons why people take advantage of others who are too nice, and that's not the only danger of being nice. So to get to the bottom of this, let's look at the definition of the word nice. So being nice means to be pleasant, agreeable, or satisfactory. When someone is nice, you might say that they're also polite and they treat people well. Now, nice is something that usually makes you feel good because you're doing something to make someone else happy. Now, nice, the word nice in itself is not necessarily the problem, but it's the motivations behind nice. See, somebody could be nice because they're a people pleaser, because they don't feel good about themselves unless they're making other people happy. And that's a problem for the person who's doing it, because they're putting other people's needs above their own. Someone could also be nice because they're way on the other end of the spectrum and they are extremely selfish. Maybe they're a narcissist and they're being nice because they want to get something. And herein lies the problem. In both examples, on both ends of the spectrum, neither person is necessarily doing it because they want to do it, because they want to make the other person happy, or because it's something that they really want to do. Now, one of those personalities chooses to be nice, but they're both doing it out of a need, either a need to serve themselves. If I do something nice for you, you're going to do something nice for me later, or out of a need to make themselves feel worthy or to make themselves feel better, like they have a purpose. And that purpose is to make sure everyone else is happy and to make sure everyone else is okay. Now, being nice, of course, is not necessarily a bad thing. It is nice to do nice things for other people. But when we're doing them either for personal gain, to get something in return, or if we're doing them to make other people feel better at the expense of our own happiness and well-being, then nice becomes a really big problem. And possibly the biggest danger of being nice is that it's held to such high regard. Nice is always put on a pedestal. You want to be nice. You want other people to think of you as nice. Oh, so-and-so, he's a nice person. Or, oh, I've heard about her. She's so nice. And that's the kind of external validation that can be a little bit dangerous at times. If you want to be thought of as nice or a nice person, you have to keep doing the nice things. You have to keep going out of your way for other people. And although I mentioned in the beginning that nice is something that can make you feel good, nice doesn't always make you feel good, does it? If we look at a few common phrases that use the word nice, I think we're going to get some clues as to why that is. So the first common phrase is, I was trying to be nice. Now, what does that imply? The translation to that phrase is, I was doing something for you, but you didn't appreciate it. And if we really unpack that phrase, we get to the bottom of why nice is so dangerous. You're defending your actions. And you're saying, well, I was trying to do something good for you. But for whatever reason, the person that you were trying to do something good for didn't see it that way. And so what does that tell us about nice? We're not in control, are we? I was trying to be nice. I was trying to get your approval. I was trying to be pleasant, agreeable, satisfactory. The thing about nice is that we can try to be nice, but we don't really get to decide whether we're nice or not. That's a title that someone else gives to us, and therefore it's always going to be external validation. Now, striving to be nice, trying to be nice, isn't necessarily a bad thing on its own, as long as you're not putting other people's needs above your own. Let's look at another common phrase that starts the word nice. I'm gonna be nice and do this thing for you. Now, what does somebody mean when they're saying that? I'm gonna be nice and do this thing for you. Why are they saying that? Why don't they just say, I'm gonna do this thing for you? Why do they have to point out that they're going to be nice? Well, the implication there is, I don't really want to do this thing for you, but I'm pointing out that I'm doing it anyway. I'm pointing out that I am being nice, and you better appreciate it. Now, when somebody says this, usually their motivation for doing the thing is because they want you to do something for them in return. Or maybe they just want your appreciation, and they want you to acknowledge it. So essentially, I'm going to do this nice thing for you is saying, I either want your external validation or you better step up when it's time to do something nice for me. So there's one more thing that we can learn from these phrases. So I was trying to be nice, or I'm going to be nice and do this thing for you. These phrases imply that in these instances, when we use these phrases, that nice implies some sort of sacrifice. So like I said, nice isn't always a bad thing, but it can be a very bad thing. And it's important for us to acknowledge that. It's important to acknowledge when nice is dangerous. And what we're talking about, what we're honing in on in today's video is the dangers of being too nice or striving to be too nice or to be the nice person. But nice can also be dangerous when the wrong person is using it. When somebody is using nice to get what they want out of you. And I mentioned that I have one simple shift to turn things around, and I'm going to share that at the end of this video. But just changing your perspective on things can not only help you see when you're being too nice or striving to be too nice or looking for that external validation, but it can also help you see when other people are being nice for the wrong reasons. Okay, so here are 5 signs that you are being too nice in your own life. And the first sign is that you only feel good when you're doing things for other people. You feel invisible unless you're helping somebody else in some way and getting that approval, getting that external validation. So another sign that you are probably being too nice in your own life is that you avoid conflict at all costs. Now, what I'm talking about is the type of person who will just go ahead and agree to somebody else's plan or somebody else's idea just to avoid conflict. Now, if this is you, you may notice that you have people in your life who will jump to conflict quickly. And these people do this because they recognize that you will avoid conflict, and it's a really fast way that they can get their own way, that they can get what they want. So another sign that you're too nice in your own life is that you struggle with the word no. And now when we talk about narcissism on this channel, we can recognize that one of the quickest ways to root out a narcissist in your life is to see how they react to the word no. Narcissists really like to get their own way, so they don't handle no very well. But when we're talking about somebody who has an issue with people pleasing, they also don't handle no very well. But here's the difference. They can handle it when other people say it. They can't handle it so much when it's coming from them. So they will avoid, much like avoiding conflict, they will avoid the word no. They will avoid saying no to people, either because they don't want conflict or because they don't want to disappoint other people. When you enjoy getting that external validation and being the nice guy or the nice girl, you know that saying no, saying that word to somebody who wants something from you, can get that title taken away from you, even if saying no is really the best decision for you. So another sign that you're being too nice in your own life is that you feel responsible for other people's happiness. So you feel like it's your responsibility to make them happy, and if they're not happy, that you have to step up and do something to change that. And that's when you're going to feel that drive to do the nice thing. What is something nice that I can do for this person to make them happy? What is something nice that I can do to make them smile? It's honestly a beautiful trait. However, it's dangerous when you're doing it consistently, when it's not just one person that you can't stand to see upset, but it's almost everybody. And when you're not really paying attention to how you're feeling, you're only paying attention to how other people feel. And so you're jumping up to help them instead of taking care of yourself when you really should. So the last sign that you are being too nice in your own life is that you rarely get what you want. And this could be either because you don't voice your wants and needs with other people, or it could be that you back down too easily. So you might say what you want, but if somebody wants something else, you instantly give in and say, okay, we'll do that. Or, okay, that plan is better. That sounds good. So those are the 5 signs that you are being too nice in your own life. And if you're being too nice, then you probably relate with being a people pleaser, because a people pleaser is going to be somebody who is too nice. Here's the simple shift that can turn everything around. And it's not necessarily a quick fix, but it's a mindset shift that can really change your perspective on being nice. The shift is to strive for kindness instead of niceness. So we talked about niceness being rooted in external validation. Now, kindness is different. They're very, very similar words, and sometimes they're used interchangeably, but they're not quite the same thing. Kindness is something that comes from within. So when you're kind to another person, you are showing compassion, you're communicating with empathy, and you're caring about this person's well-being. So you can be kind and not be nice, but usually these two things go hand in hand. More often than not, you can be nice and kind, but the difference is within your motivation, where that motivation comes from. If your actions are motivated by your caring for that person, then you're being kind. You're doing something kind, you're acting in kindness, and you don't expect anything in return. You don't even need that external validation of the other person saying, oh yeah, he's a nice person, or she's really nice. And I personally find this distinction really helpful, because when we look at somebody saying, oh, you're too nice, it doesn't really give you the full picture. You know that it can be a bad thing, but you don't know what to do instead. You know, you can be nice, but not too nice. And, you know, where does that end? Where's the line that you cross? And there's not really any clear guidelines to this. But if you just throw nice out the window and focus on kindness instead, you'll never really have to worry about whether you're being too nice. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but when somebody says you're too kind, it's not an insult. Usually when someone says you're too kind, it's after you've just given them a compliment. You know, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're too kind. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope that this inspires you to act in kindness. And if you did like this video, if you found it helpful, please do hit that like button, and I will see you next time.